Welcome back to the second episode of the Procrastination series. In the first episode we explored the causes and effects of procrastination. Now in this episode, we will explore how to overcome procrastination and start taking action. If you haven't seen the first episode, I advise you to watch it first, so that you do not miss anything, but if you have watched the previous episode, I congratulate you on what you are doing to develop yourself. I congratulate you because you are doing something that only elite people do. It doesn't really matter why you procrastinate. Some love the pressure of deadlines, some are afraid to fail, so they put it off until the very last moment. One thing that all procrastinators have in common is that procrastination has a price. This highly cited study published in the American Psychological Society journal by Diane, Tice, and Roy Baumeister discusses the cost of procrastination. It is related to depression, irrational beliefs, low self-esteem, anxiety, stress. Procrastination is not innocent behavior. It's a sign of poor self-regulation. Researchers even compare procrastination to alcohol and drug abuse. It's serious, and I've experienced that for many years. The years after I got out of college were also a struggle in terms of starting and finishing work. Procrastination is a habit that just sneaks into your system. It's not something you can shake easily every time. I had a business idea or wanted to start something. It went like this: every time I had an idea or a goal I would start, but along the way things would go wrong. I went from start to total chaos, distractions, other ideas, other opportunities, failure, negative, self-talk etc. would get in the way, and the results are always the same: you never get anything done. Beating procrastination to me the key. Finding from the study by Diane, Tice, and Roy Baumeister, is this: the present evidence suggests that procrastinators enjoy themselves rather than working at assigned tasks, until the rising pressure of imminent deadlines forces them to get to work. In this view, procrastination may derive from a lack of self-regulation, and hence a dependency on externally imposed forces to motivate work. Self-regulation, self-control, willpower, are all things that we overestimate. We think, yeah, sure, I will write a novel in 3 weeks. In our minds we're all geniuses, and mentally strong. But when the work comes, we cop out. If you're a procrastinator, you can't help but delay work, and that's true for the small and big tasks. Sure, everybody fears to step outside of their comfort zone, that's why we call them comfort zones. It takes courage to make a bold move, but it sure doesn't take any courage to complete small tasks, like paying bills, printing out something for your boss, doing taxes etc. The truth is, procrastination has nothing to do with what you're trying to do, small or big. It can wait until later. It can always wait. Right? For me, completing tasks went like this: there comes a moment between the start and end of a task. I call it the slope of procrastination. When you give in to one distraction, and that's exactly the moment you give up being productive. You start working on a task, you're excited, you're focused. But then after some time you think, let's read the news for a second. It always starts with just one thing. Then you think, I might as well watch one episode of Game of Thrones. Then a video on YouTube, and then another one. Then a little bit of Instagram browsing, and so forth. It always ends with a bang. This is the last time, I'm wasting my time, etc. Willpower doesn't work. Systems do. What you really need is systems for doing work a lot. A lot of people shy away from routine systems and frameworks because they want to have freedom. I'm sorry to disappoint you, freedom is your enemy. The fact is that if you want to get things done, you need rules. What are some things that research proved to be effective? Self-imposed deadlines, accountability systems, commitment with friends or a coach, studying in intervals, exercising 30 minutes a day, a healthy diet, eliminating distractions. And most importantly, internal motivation. If you combine the right productivity tactics, you have a productivity system. The deadlines create urgency, accountability will create responsibility, working in intervals improves your focus, exercising will give you more energy, so does a healthy diet, and eliminating distractions will take away the temptations. But there's no system that can help you if you don't have an inner drive. People overcomplicate that concept. But it's simple. Why do you do what you do? If you don't know, make something up. If you know why you're doing something, even the most annoying tasks become bearable. It will become a part of the bigger picture. So, instead of diving into work, take a step back. think about why you do what you do and then rely on a system supports that. Not rocket science. Just science. How to stop wasting time and improve your personal effectiveness. The reason I research productivity is simple. I think that a productive life equals a happy life. Also, if you're more productive than average people, you'll advance faster in your career. You learn more. You do more. And eventually are rewarded more. And when I talk about productivity, I talk about being effective. Because productivity doesn't suggest that you get the right things done. It just means you get a lot of stuff done. But that's not what matters. Effectiveness, however, refers to getting the right things done. And if you want to do your job well, earn money, live a meaningful life or learn skills, that is what matters the most. Otherwise you just run around in circles. You might appear busy, but you won't achieve anything meaningful. In other words, it's easy to do useless work. Work that doesn't bring you closer to the outcomes you desire. Results matter the most. Practically that means this: you might work for 50 hours a week, but if you don't experience any growth, personally, emotionally, financially, you're not effective. People often ask me, where do I begin? To answer that question, I want to share one exercise that I teach in my productivity course, Procrastinate Zero. It's an exercise that I picked up from Peter Drucker's The Effective Executive. To me, Drucker is the first and best thinker when it comes to effectiveness for knowledge workers. Many of the book's articles, productivity tools and productivity apps you see these days are all in a way influenced by Drucker, who essentially invented the term personal effectiveness. What you will find next is a simple exercise from The Effective Executive, which I modified slightly to make it easier that you can apply to become more effective yourself. Step 1. Know thy time. I often hear people saying, I don't know what's wrong with me. I keep procrastinating. My question is, do you know thy time? If you don't measure your time, it's tough to stop procrastination or improve your productivity. Because if you want to manage your time, better you have to know where it goes first. Your memory is not sufficient. If I asked you what you were doing exactly 1 week ago at this time, would you have an answer? Answer. There you go. How do you know your time? Keep an activity log. Before I even have a real session with clients, I often ask them to keep an activity log for 2 weeks. An activity log is exactly what you imagine, an hour-by-hour record of what you're doing throughout the day. The specific method you use for your activity log doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you want to keep a record for at least 2 weeks. Preferably, you want a whole month of recorded activities. I just keep a pen and a notepad on my desk, and every hour I write down the time and what I've done during the past hour. It's important to keep the notebook visible so you don't forget. Step 2. Identify the non-productive work. This step is actually very simple. I just have one question for you. Go through all the recurring activities in your log one by one. 1. What would happen if you would stop doing them? If the answer is, all hell breaks loose, don't change anything. But if your answer is, nothing would happen, you've hit gold. We all do activities that have zero return. I call those activities time wasters. Step 3. Eliminate the time wasters. Boom. That's it, know where your time goes. Identify the critical tasks, from the trivial tasks, in your life. If you reach this time of the episode, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. That concludes our second episode of the Procrastination series. I hope that you now have a better understanding of how to overcome procrastination and start taking action. Remember, the only way to reach your goals is to take action. So get started today, and don't forget to reward yourself once you have achieved your goals. See you in the next episode.